Welcome to the FCB Podcast with myself, the fat centre back. As always, Ian the Imi Arden and Luke Pearson there finally with his camera on with his lovely background. Before we get going, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who took part into the Premier League Top 10 that we've recently done. I'm working through your comments now. I'm seeing a few good comments in there. People are happy. So we would like to invite any of you on to the podcast in the future. But today we are going for the all-time top 10, in our opinion. And as this time again, Ian, the Himi Arden, is your host, so I have no clue of what has happened. So let's hand it over to Ian and get this show on the road.
Well, as like last time, I got 10 people. We've done the same 10 panel. Some of them might be getting kicked out after last week's shambles. But yeah, but I've got 10 people sending in 10 players, made a point system, and we're going to go from there. We told people to go off what they've seen, mostly. Some people think they were born in the 1970s. They weren't. So let's see how the list goes. In 16th, I've got 2 joint players, so we'll go over the first one first. One person had him in, you got 1 point. Liam had him in, and that's Luis Figo.
Random one. I never thought I'd see Luis Figo in there, to be fair. Great player. And I remember Figo sort of growing up, but I wouldn't put him in top 10 myself, but yeah, strange one.
Oh,
For all the players you can think of, top 10. I mean, was he that good? I don't know. I remember.
You made my list as in like I wrote down like 16 names and I was going through them all, and Figo was on that list.
He popped into my head, but I never sort of.
Yeah, and never. It was one of those ones I crossed off early on because I think he's better players in that position than him.
I mean, he had like nearly 200 appearances with Barca, and then he did that big move where he went from Barcelona to Real Madrid, and everyone was like shocked. And he did like 150 games for Real Madrid, and then he went to Inter. Like stats wise, like he won a Ballon d'Or.
Barca, Inter, Madrid.
Amazing, and he won leagues with them all. He won 2 leagues with Barca. He won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. Remember that?
Yeah.
Won a Champions League with Madrid. Won 2 leagues with Madrid. Won 4 Serie A's on the spin, and he also.
Was he that long? Was he? Yeah, I don't know. He was at Inter for that long.
He had over 100 appearances for all 3 of those clubs, and he had over 100 appearances for Sporting before he even went to Barca. He won a Ballon d'Or as well in 2000, won the FIFA World Player of the Year 2001, was in the UEFA Team of the Year in 2003. I didn't actually expect to see him, but he had a good...
I mean, he's at 10th place. It's not like he's been picked number 3 from before, so can't really argue. Great player. Obviously, can't play for them 3 teams, win that much trophies, them amount of games without being top level player, and he's got the best hair of a football player I've ever seen. So, yeah, fair play to him.
I mean, he only got 1 point, so.
Do you reckon he goes under the radar a bit because he wasn't like that entertaining? Like
he probably goes under the radar because he was in the same team as Ronaldo and Zidane. So it's a good shout. Yeah,
everyone focused on them.
I don't even know if he goes under the radar. I think if you had a couple of people who were a little bit older than us come on, I think you might see him more in there.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Good shout.
Because he was very good. He's a very good accomplishment. So.
So I wouldn't have qualms in them sitting in 10th position in many people's lists.
Just Liam with the 1 point, and then obviously we've got one person Drew with them with 1 point. It's me. So I picked this guy because I couldn't really pick between my 10th player, and in the Premier League I didn't put Cech in, and I really regret not putting Cech in. And this position I love. I think it's the most important position on the pitch, and I've gone with Iker Casillas.
I thought you were going to say Cech then.
No.
I was like, what? Oh yeah, you know what? I was we were talking, when we first talked about the podcast, and we were talking about doing a 5-a-side team. I was going to put Casillas in about any keeper because I thought he's the best keeper I've ever seen in my lifetime. So if you're going to pick a keeper, I definitely would have went with Casillas, to be fair. Yeah, great keeper. So I'm surprised he's in your top 10, but I thought you were going to go Cech then. I was going to start ripping you, but fair play.
I just think it's hard, and everyone just goes like strikers, midfielders, like attackers, and no one looks at the goal. The goalkeeper is like one of the most important players on the pitch. Like, even if you're on a good team like Liverpool with Alisson, we're attacking all the time, and then you have to instantly switch on and make a save. And I think it's such an important position, and it gets very overlooked. And Casillas won God knows how many leagues. 1, 2, 5 leagues. He won 3 Champions Leagues. He's won 2 Euros, a World Cup. He got Goalkeeper of the Year 5 years on the spin. He got UEFA Team of the Year 6 years on the spin. And that's coming up against goalkeepers like Buffon. And
thing about Casillas, he was a bit smaller as well, wasn't he? But he was still like top level keeper. Like, you compare to him to Buffon. Buffon was like 6 foot odd, wasn't he? But Casillas was only, he's probably like 6 foot, isn't he? But keeper wise, Buffon must be like 6'4", 6'3", you know what I mean? So
Buffon 6'4", Casillas 6 foot, and I just think he was amazing.
He
and like I said,
more than 6 foot.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
But looks more
probably when he's standing next to like the big centre backs now, weren't it?
Because then me and you talked the keepers, where me and you said Casillas, and I was like Buffon for me. It's just different type of goalkeepers that you go for, isn't it?
Yeah,
it'll be interesting when we do a list of goalkeepers, because I feel like goalkeepers and defenders get unfairly treated in these top tens.
I asked me.
But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, he had 1 point, joint 16 for Luis Figo. I had to put him in there. It was between him and a couple of others, but I just decided to go with the goalkeeper just to be a little bit different, and it's my favourite position, and obviously I'm starting to become a goalkeeper, or trying to.
I hope you've got a full 10 of goalies, don't you?
Yeah, imagine. Casillas, bottom of the list.
Chef number 1.
Alright. No, in 15th is, again, 2 people joint for the position, both with 2 points. 1 person had this guy in. He had him in 9th. That's Alex. And it's Rivaldo.
He was very close to going on my 11. My 10, sorry. I use a baller, man. I remember like the World Cups back in the day. I mean, again, he's just a bit. His prime was probably just before our time, isn't it? But he was quality. The World Cups. Do you remember the goal that was against Deportivo? The chest, the overhead kick from like outside the box. But I'll always remember Rivaldo for one thing and one thing only, and that was the World Cup where someone kicked the ball at him and he went down holding his face, and just embarrassing. That's what I remember him for anyway.
So that's why the subject's so good, because there's so many people you could easily put a fight for and say these should be in it. And that's why I looked at Rivaldo myself, but I went for other people with Rivaldo because he never got me excited. Wasn't playing with that in that Barcelona squad for me. I never looked at Rivaldo because the strikers were too good.
I did. I had, like as you said before, Bubba, you had like a list of like 16 people. I had my like say 5 or 6 who were like cert, and then I had like 10 to 12 people who I was like trying to. And he was Rivaldo was in there for me, like, but just not quite top 10 for me.
You know what? I don't remember him that much for Barca, and I think for Brazil, when I think about the Brazil team,
Brazil, that's it.
Yeah, I remember Brazil, but when I think about the Brazil team, I don't think about Rivaldo. Yeah. I think of Ronaldinho, Romario. Like they all come to my brain before him. But I'm just looking at his like goal scoring record for Barcelona and stuff, and it's still exceptional. 19 goals, 24, 12, 23, and yeah, he was a great player. But I think maybe I can't remember him that well, but again, maybe it's the overshadow thing. Maybe he is just overshadowed by Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Romario, so he didn't stand out as much.
I think you made a good point there, though. When I think of Rivaldo, I instantly think of Brazil. I don't think of like what he done for Barcelona or whatever. It's just instantly think of the World Cup, 2002, whatever it was. But yeah,
he also won a Ballon d'Or, which I actually didn't know. He won a Ballon d'Or in '99.
Who did he go up against in that year?
I'm not sure.
Di Stefano.
In his grave.
Ballon d'Or 99. He was up. Beckham came second.
Whoa.
Shevchenko came third.
Wow.
That's but like I said, I remember more about Brazil than I do think but he won a lot. He won a Ballon d'Or. Can't moan about him being in there. He's definitely considered by other people.
It's not a terrible shot.
All right, the next.
Well, why are you smiling?
Joint with him in 15th. One person had him in 9th. And it was Sean, and it's Di Stefano.
So it is Sean. What's he playing at? Like,
And then
fucking hell. He's just seen the FIFA icon. He's had him on his FIFA Ultimate Team. Scored a few goals of FIFA and thought, good player him, I'll put him in.
well,
It's just, you can't, listen, I know, I went to the Madrid tour with Gazza and Wickle back in the day, and it was all medals about Stefano, because he was the all-time top goal scorer before Ronaldo, weren't he? So there was a lot of stuff there about Di Stefano, so obviously he's a great player, but to put him in your all-time top 10 list when you've never seen him play, no, that's just...
and he was on the podcast last time, and we said he plays like machine, like we said that, like, but let people do what they wanted to do, and we'll discuss it. I wish he was here to discuss it because, like, when was he? 1950s?
Well,
he was a long time ago.
It's literally from 45 to 66. But
my ma wasn't even born.
Right, to be fair to him, not to Sean, but to Di Stefano. Let's give him some credit, right? He's got 216. I'll just reel off some stuff. 216 goals in 282 games. He won 9 league titles. I think he won 5 European Cups back to back. 2 Ballon d'Ors, 1 Super Ballon d'Or. Don't know what that is. So obviously he was good, but I don't know how Sean has seen him because I can't imagine there is YouTube clips from the 1950s. So I can only imagine he's just going off stats. And the reasoning he gave me for Di Stefano was Di Stefano scored something like 350 goals.
Something like.
I do not know this kid.
350 goals to make Real Madrid win the first 5 European Cups and become the first super giant in club football. Well, he scored 216 goals for Real Madrid in 282 games. But yeah, that's the reason he gave me. We can't sit here and have a discussion about him. Yeah. I would love to see Sean just fill me with knowledge about Di Stefano.
I reckon we ring him now, wake him up, and just say, listen, lad, what are you thinking about?
Just, like, none of us can even have a conversation about it, you know what I mean? So...
Not even number 10 either. Who's he got number 10?
I can't say that. Right, but let's move on because we can't really have a discussion against them. But yeah, Di Stefano, Rivaldo, 15th. Going into 14th. 3 people are joint at 3 points.
All 10.
All 14th.
Yeah,
3 points. First place is the first out of them is Liam had him. He was the only one to have him on his list, and he had him in 7th.
Oh, dear. Look at my list there, thinking, what?
Wayne Rooney.
Where's the Rooney in his Premier League one?
Second, isn't he?
Yeah, it's second, I think.
Right, okay.
I'm still quite shocked.
I mean, I'm not shocked. I mean, it was quality. He was absolutely quality. And if he's doing his last 20 years, then is it a bad shout? No, I don't think so.
He must have missed someone big on his list.
I mean, I think Rooney was a better footballer than Figo. I mean, again, I'd miss Figo in his prime, but if you can put Figo in, you can put Rooney in there, because I thought Rooney was...
Yeah.
I had him, second. I had him second in the Premier League top list, yeah.
I think we got most of it, but I didn't even write him down on my list in, top 16. He never... Because the list was just I'm quite surprised at that, but...
So, the thing is, on his Prem list, he had... I'm going to spoil his list slightly here, but he had Gerrard above him. He had Gerrard above Rooney on his Prem list, and he doesn't have Gerrard in his top 10 all time. So
yeah,
I asked him.
To this guy.
Yeah.
Hold on. So I know, but he had a good reason.
For that shit.
Hold on. He had a good reason. He said, "That's what seems silly, but then I thought about Rooney with international, with it being World 10, and he's England's top goal scorer. Anyway, I look forward to getting slated."
I'm not going to slate him.
I think 7th is.
I'm just shocked. I'm surprised.
I see more of Rooney than I did Figo. but I feel like he had Figo 10th, he's had Rooney 7th. I feel like Figo would be above him.
No, I'm not having that. I think Rooney was. I think he was
Or is it
unreal
that
himself.
goes? I mean, the person he's got in. Wait, no, he didn't
Can't
have him
say
in 7th.
what
Sorry, he had him in 8th. He had him in 8th.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, 8th. But the person he had above it, he's got above.
Between him and Figo.
Yeah, between him and Figo, like I just think that guy would be way better than Rooney. But yeah, anyway, Rooney, we don't have much to say about him. We touched on him in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Great player. For me, I don't even think he gets in my top 20 all time.
He said he didn't even make my list. Like, he didn't even rate him
Yeah.
down. I
I
wrote
feel like
Gerrard
there's a-
down, but
I think there's a lot of other players. I don't think he gets in like my top 20, to be honest.
Did you say it was just Limo Adam in the list? Yeah.
Just Liam?
so,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like,
At 8th.
yeah, so I'm not surprised there. Like, only one person had him in.
All right, next 2 people had him in, Bulb and Carl.
Oh, Carl's just one on my list. Fuck's
So
sake.
Bulb, you can speak first. But Carl had him in 10th, Bulb had him in 9th, and that's Andrea Pirlo.
Yeah. Pirlo for me, and that probably one of the best deep line playmakers I've probably seen in my life. Like, unbelievable. Like, 403 appearances between AC and Juve. 6 Serie A's, 2 Coppa Italia, 2 CLs, 2 Super Cups, 1 World Cup, All-Star team as well, top assist provider, and UEFA Team of the Year. He's just one of those players that literally just, from anywhere deep in that park, he ran the game on his own.
I think Pirlo was unbelievable myself, to be fair, definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong, he weren't in my list or the list I had, but he was quality. I mean, I remember Pirlo, because you've seen to play Italy a few times, didn't we, in the Euros and the World Cup or whatever, and he every time he played me ran the game, didn't he? And there was the Panenka penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say when he dinked it.
So he was coolness personified, wasn't he, Pirlo?
There's one thing with Pirlo is
face.
the game seems to slow down around him. When he picked that ball, the game slowed down.
People have got like the first 2-3 yards in the head, and he'd see the pass before he'd get the ball. Like he'd be dropping deep, pointing for the ball, but in his head he knows where he's already putting the ball because he was that good, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's literally like his vision, lad. It was just.
Played till he was like 38 as well.
Yeah.
At a top level, I was well, when he was at like Juventus when he was.
He was at Juventus until he was 36.
It's got going, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he was playing every week as well, though, and he's not like he was just the odd game, but he never had pace, but he didn't need it because what he did, he was just get the ball and spread it.
And like
now,
most people
it's kind of why Scholes played so long as well.
Yeah, people in this
like
position.
Phil have height and overs, isn't he?
But like people in that position normally no one's like tackle him and the deep role defend him, where he was a playmaker from that deep because he could just literally he could do it. He could just see the ball and make the ball with ease. And when he does try and get man marked, it's no one getting near him.
You know you've got to be good to have played for Inter, AC, and Juve.
Yeah. He played for Inter as well, did he?
Yeah, not many games played, but
22 games played.
Yeah.
22 games for Inter. He got loaned out twice and then went on to AC. Inter must be regretting that.
He got 48 goals, like which that record could do something better. Someone who took free kicks.
More than Ryan Giggs.
Fuck. But like 403 apps were it. Forget that. He took free kicks as well, so you would expect a bit better, like. But yeah.
I think a bit like Rooney for me. He would make this, but this guy would probably make my top 20. But there's a lot of centre mids I would have above Pirlo personally.
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
Yeah. I went for that role. As the best person in that role.
I've left out 2 centre mids just off the top of my head who I would put in before Pirlo. So that's how. Not saying that's something bad against Pirlo, but to how good centre mids were in our last 20-30 years. There's 2 centre mids I've not put in.
I have also done the same thing. Probably the same too, but I guess this is where it comes down to the players are that close in skill level. It's what you prefer with your eyes and what you see in what position. Definitely. Like I put Casillas in because I like goalkeepers, and he is probably, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper of all time that I've seen. So I guess it just comes down to that.
Yeah.
So Pirlo, Rooney were level.
Rooney wrecked that.
There's another one level with them on 3 points. One person had them in, and they had them at 8th. And that's Cruyff.
Don't say Sean
It's a
again.
short list.
Had Sean had him in.
Oh,
Null and
fucking
void.
hell.
Null and
Why
void
didn't
his
we wait
list.
for him to come on there?
Again, all I can do is load up Wikipedia and talk about the stats. I've never watched him play. He retired in 1984. Like
I mean, the one thing that's top of your head you can say is the Cruyff turn.
Literally,
one
that's
thing.
it, lad.
Like, oh, he's that good. He's got his own turn against him. But
Right, lads, today at training, we're going to do the Cruyff turn.
if you've got someone who's like 70 years of age sitting here on this podcast and they said Cruyff is in top 10, I wouldn't argue with them because they might be. But for someone who's not watched him play, you can't say he's in top 10. It's Wikipedia versus your opinion. Do you know what I mean?
it's last week. If I asked our Tony for his list,
He'd be on there.
Shearer would have been up there.
Yeah.
Gascoigne, John Barnes, Ian Wright, like these players that I've never seen. He would have them. Well, I've seen them, like, but not seen enough.
Yeah.
He would have them on there. But how can Sean put someone who retired in 1984 up there? I mean, he won a lot with Ajax. Then he went to Barcelona. He went back to Ajax, I think. Yeah, he went to Barcelona. I just don't really. His international record's good. Did he win any Ballon d'Ors?
I think he did, didn't he? I think
He
I've
won
seen him on the list.
He won 3 Ballon d'Ors. He didn't win a World Cup. Didn't win a Euro.
My issue with this is it's not that he's not deserving of being in the top 10.
We know the players who
just,
should be there, but
it's just. I mean, it's not. You know, if you pick one person in his top 10 who was like Maradona or Pele, but he's picked two picks have come up already. Di Stefano and Cruyff. I mean, how many people has he got on his list who were before this time? If he's put so what I'm going to say is, if he's put Cruyff in his list, how can you then not put Maradona in your list? Do you know what I mean? If you're going to go through, not just if you're going to do all eras and you're going to put Cruyff in your list and Di Stefano in your list, you've got to logically have Maradona and then Pele in your list. So is 4 of his top 10 going to be 4 people you've never seen before? Because if he does his list now without Maradona and Pele, then what the fuck's he playing at?
Well, I know, it's for us. It's very hard for us to talk about it, but I don't know how he could talk about it. Like, what can he say? All he can say is sit there and reel off achievements.
Yeah,
he can't sit there and say,
yeah.
I watched them and I loved them and whatever. But
even
anyway.
so, right? Like, if we were to pick out, like, say for example, Bulbed just had mentioned Pirlo and Bulbed mentioned what he'd do in a game. He'd get the ball. All Sean could possibly do with Cruyff is just literally A, look on Wikipedia what he's done, or B, look at his goals. He doesn't sit there and watch a full Ajax matches from 1975, does he? Going, oh, he does this, he controls the game. He just watches purely highlights, goals, and Wikipedia. So you can't say what he does.
You can't say anything.
Do you know what I mean?
YouTube clips, you can't say anything. I'm gonna make a highlight reel of like us or me and go, I'm gonna look like fucking kissy ass me, but I'm not. But no, you can make any good footballer look good on highlight reel.
Yeah. Of course, you can do one thing in 90 minutes, and then you put it in a few games. You put him in a YouTube clip, you look sick. But in reality, I mean, I'm not saying he's not sick because he obviously is, but
it definitely could be in there. Like,
just purely to the fact that he's not seen him live for 90 minutes to say, oh, he had a good game. Yeah, he's probably seen a clip of him score a good goal, thinking, oh, he's bossing.
This is another FIFA icon player.
But this is his reasoning. His
I
reasoning.
expect Hachi next.
His reasoning was very short and sweet. I did ask for an explanation on everyone he put in who wasn't from Aria. Cruyff invented a new style of football and was super attacking, again helping Ajax to 3 straight European Cups and total domination.
He's copied and pasted that, yeah. Copied and pasted.
Laddie has went on Google and said facts about Johan Cruyff. Copy, paste, censor Ian. That's what he's done. He doesn't speak like he's weird at that. There's absolutely no way. He's a super inventive player. He's done this. He won a Ballon d'Or. Fuck off, Sean.
Oh, we let him on the podcast last week.
Oh, it's fucking horrendous, isn't it? But right, okay.
This is worse than Carl's.
Let's move on, because again, it's very hard for us to talk about these players. Right, anyway. Joint 13th, 2 players, 4 points. One of these picks, the one I'm going to talk about now, I really, really like. Very close to getting him to my list. But I only went to put him close to getting into my list when I seen this person put him, and I was like, what a pick. Gaza picked him, and he was the only one to pick him, and he put him at 7th. Dani Alves.
Oh, mate, he was so close to my list. Has he won the most trophies history
Yeah.
by a football player? I am not going to say anything about this pick because I was that close to putting him in. And the only reason I didn't put him in is because I put another defender in instead who I just liked more. And that's the only reason. Nothing to do with skill or level. It was just because I liked him more. But Dani Alves was absolutely quality. So, great shout. Great shout.
On your right, you can have Daniel Alves as Cafu in it. That's how, like, that's who you compare him with, like Cafu. Like, he's in his own
Dani Alves
zone.
for me every day of the
Yeah,
week.
it'd be Daniel
Every day
Alves
of
for
the week.
us, but like that's the only way you compare it with older person generation. We turn around and argue Cafu, and we go Daniel Alves, and then that's a pair. Daniel Alves was played the best right back we'll ever see.
Mate, I've never seen a right back like him, by the way. Never.
No. Carl,
He'd be
Carl would
literally
argue
right
Trent,
wing
like,
one
but
minute and then second later to be a right back doing tackles. He
Yeah.
was insane.
Still playing now as well, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah, he's like a Barcelona, like he's in Mexico or something now, isn't he? Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's some going on.
Yeah.
124 games for Brazil. Like, let's go over his achievements, just
Yeah,
because
this was
that
scary.
is. So, Seville, he won a Copa del Rey, he won 2 UEFA Cups, a Super Cup, a Supercopa España, then he went to Barcelona, won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leagues? 6 leagues, 4 cups, another 4 Super Copas, 3 Champions Leagues, 3 Super Cups, 3 World Club Cups, a Serie, went to Juventus, won the Serie A, won the Coppa Italia, went to PSG, won the league at PSG, won everything in France.
But he's never done it on the West Coast United Stoke.
Won 2 Copa Americas for Brazil, won 2 Confederation Cups for Brazil, won the Olympics with Brazil. I think he's won everything that is to win in the leagues he's been in. UEFA Team of the Year 5 times. FIFA Pro World 11, it looks about 8 times. Just insane.
8 times, lad.
Just like
I'm watching it. It's not only just reeling off stats, like, we reel off stats of
Yeah.
Johan Cruyff. Watching him was unbelievable. What a right back, just absolute quality.
He was everything. He was like, I don't want to
He was the
name
complete
shame
right
him.
back.
Like where I say like Trent Alexander-Arnold's like absolutely amazing going forward. Sometimes Dani Alves was amazing both defensively and attacking, and he had the pace to make up for getting up and down, the fitness to get up and down. He was quality, absolute quality.
Absolutely amazing.
only one
Yeah.
person picked him, just Gaza.
Yeah, now, like I said, when it came in, I like to pick my list before I see everyone else's because obviously I'll see picks like Dani Alves and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about him, let's put him in. And if I was going to change my list, I would have put him in when I forgot all about.
No,
What
he
a
was
fucking
on my list, but we'll talk about it when I get to who I've put in instead of him. But it was a toss up between them two, and I literally just went on personal preference. But yeah,
I have to do my
I made
list.
up someone's picked them. To be fair, I made up someone else picked them.
Yeah, I have to do my list before everyone else, so it's like I have to rush mine kind of thing. So I do forget some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was what a pick. Like I said, great pick. Joint 13th with Dani Alves was one person had him in his list. He had him 7th. Pele.
Sean,
No, come on.
John.
he's done this as a joke, I'm done this as a joke.
Oh, fuck it.
That's like again, you're looking.
I mean, to be fair, right? I did say the last time if he's going to pick Di Stefano, and he's got to pick Pele and Maradona. So we know Maradona's on the list, we know, because it'll just be stupid. But again, all you can go off with Pele is Wikipedia. It's just nothing else you can go on.
So wait there, where did you say it was only Sean, weren't it? And he's 7th.
So far he's had Stefano in 9th, Cruyff in 8th, Pele in 7th.
So
what he's done to me is his top 5's going to be modern, and then his bottom 5 are going to be obviously Maradona, the one, and someone else.
If he was doing it properly, he would have put Pele in there 1 and 2, wouldn't he? Because it's Pele at the end of the day.
Let's talk about Pele.
So why is he? Sean, why you've done this on purpose? I'm not having it.
I'm going to sound controversial here, but I don't say he's overrated because he's not overrated, but. And he's got like all these like 1,000 goals or something. Doesn't he count like friendlies and fucking mad games in them? And it's just like, mate, come on, really? Really?
I've seen a TikTok where he asked someone about it, and he said, mate, he scored 1,000 goals against farmers that no one even heard of.
Yeah, I mean, we can't like. Let's be honest. Brazil could have been the best league.
Yeah.
We don't know. We weren't there. We'll never know. We can only go off what people say. But again, he's just gone. Oh yeah, Pele's got to be in there. But I don't even put Pele in my top 30 because I can't talk on it. I can't back it up. I can literally say what he said to me. Pele was the greatest goal scorer by a mile for 50 to 60 years. 3 World Cups, doing it from the age of 17. Says it all. Well, yeah, great, but that's not enough. That's not enough. If you come on that show and that's all you're going to say, it's not enough.
No, it's not.
You know what it seems to me? Like he's been asked to do like a project and he's done research about it, but he's like, you go home, like you get homework in school and you go home, fucking put Google in and you just copy and paste from Google. I feel like he's done go name your top 10 players. He's literally typed in Google top 10 players and he's just literally picked a few names out and went, I'm going to copy this bit, I'm going to use this bit. I mean, come on, really? But when you've got to sit there and talk about your reasons, he's just like, I picked him because he had a good World Cup. Fuck off, Sean. Fuck off, Sean.
Just fuck off, Sean. Hashtag fuck off, Sean. Get that going in social
Rooney
media.
in 9th and now this shit. He's done my head in.
You didn't put Rooney in 9th already? It was Liam.
No, I mean, the Premiership one, I mean.
Oh yeah. Hashtag fuck off, Sean. Get that going in the comments below.
I mean, he did score in 2 World Cup finals, won 3 World Cups. Like, yeah, that scored a shit ton of goals. But like I said, it's just one of these people. We can't even sit here and talk about him. What are we supposed to say?
Again, it's not the pick so much as in he's definitely not in the top 10, but it's just you can't back up your reasons why he's in your top 10. You've got nothing to go off but Wikipedia. There's nothing you can go off.
And then, was the Ballon d'Or even about when Pele was about?
I'm not sure, you know.
Called the Farmers League the all back then, I've heard.
It was about, and he didn't win it.
He didn't win it after scoring over like that many goals.
Do you have to play in Europe to win the Ballon d'Or? Without me sounding like an idiot. I don't think you do you?
No, that's playing Europe now.
No, you don't.
I'm sure you would know.
Why, like he hasn't won the Ballon d'Or. He played from 1956 to 1977. 1956, that's when the Ballon d'Or started, and I don't see him winning a single Ballon d'Or. No, I just don't know. You win 3 World Cups and don't win a Ballon d'Or. Is that the Ballon d'Or being corrupt because he didn't play in Europe? Maybe.
Yeah.
But
it's because the World Cup squad for Brazil was that good. He scored a few goals, but it's more of a team game, isn't it?
We don't know. We can't even really have an opinion. We don't know enough about him, so let's just move on. Because we can't talk about him.
Next one.
We're gonna.
Sean was here. How long this podcast been
Oh
around
my god.
We're gonna make ourselves sound stupid if we keep trying to talk about these.
Yeah. He's done it on
I
purpose.
just nearly made myself sound stupid. You know what I mean? Like, it's just pointless.
He's done it on purpose.
Alright, the next player in 12th on his own with 5 points. 2 people had him in. 1 person had him at 10th, that was Coogan. And then Luke had him at 7th. And that's Sergio Ramos.
I'll start, obviously, my pick. As I said to you before, between Dani Alves and this other defender, I picked Ramos because, why not? Sergio Ramos, 3 Champions Leagues in a row, captain. He's to me, he's an icon. He's an icon, Ramos, isn't he, defender? Just an absolute shithouse, snide dog. And I absolutely love shithouse, snide dogs. And he was the most shithouse, snide dog player I've ever seen in my life. Made Salah cry, so he's up there to me on its own. But yeah, obviously it was a World Cup, 2 European Championships, 3 or 4 Champions Leagues, captain Real Madrid, one of the greatest club teams ever, purely on the Champions League, whatever. And one of the Champions Leagues, he was his last minute goal against Atletico Madrid, weren't it, to take it to extra time. So it's just absolutely unreal player, unreal.
He used to pop up with goals all the time, didn't he? 72 goals.
Well, Ian, I was making notes about this before. Sergio Ramos has scored 109 goals. 109 goals for a centre-back. I mean, he's taken some penalties in that time, but 100, like, Premier League strikers don't even retire that many goals, some of them.
And,
So
and
quality.
he was going to go in over Casillas for me, and I changed it to Casillas because I wanted the goalkeeper in. But one big thing, and again, it's individual trophies and what he won. But remember, we were talking about the people in the Prem, and Gerrard had won like the most individual for World 11 and Team of the Year. This man has been in 10 FIFA Pro World 11s. 10.
That's scandalous, that, isn't it?
And 10 UEFA Team of the Year.
You know what we were talking about? So Gaza was a guy. No, sorry, not Gaza. Yeah, Alex picked Roy Keane as number 4 for his captain abilities. Yep. So we've got Sergio Ramos, who, again, 3 European Championships in a row as captain.
Got him in.
But he wasn't just a captain. He was actually like the best centre back in the world for a number of years. Where he was that good. He was what a player. What a player.
And Alex doesn't have him in.
No comment.
Yeah. Has he gone for a different defender though, Alex? Though, because obviously in our area we remember a certain defender.
And it's Urban.
Luke's only got one
comments.
defender in, haven't you? Is that your only defender? See, so like it's our era then if the next defender.
Yeah.
Well, what if he
I will say though,
when
we're talking about defenders, when I was saying Dani Alves, I was thinking about Nesta as well, because I've never seen a more Rolls Royce defender than Nesta back when he was like AC Milan days, but purely because I've seen more of Ramos, because you have, let's be honest, and obviously the fact what I've said about Champions Leagues and captains and all, I went for Ramos instead, because I think I can justify my point more with Ramos than I could with Nesta.
I think it's down.
More of Ramos having.
I reckon once we find out how you're listening, if anyone knows a good defender, I think it's going to go down to age of why Ramos hasn't been picked by most of the people around our age.
Yeah, I'm going to say to you now, like if there's a defender in this list above Ramos, it must be a good reason for it, because if we're talking about our era, as you said, I mean, I could see like maybe a Maldini in there, and I get that, because Maldini is one of the greatest defenders that's ever lived, but it depends what your list is. If your list is our era, you're going to have to pick Ramos, because he's been the best defender in the last 20 years.
It comes down to Ramos is still playing. Do you think when Ramos is gone, you look back at these players and we look back at Maldini and like, wow, like what a player will we ever see? Like a left back, centre back, a player like him. Will that happen with Ramos? Probably. A lot of people don't like Ramos.
Yeah. I think that's
the way the person he is, the way he plays.
That's a bias, because people, as I said to you before, he's the biggest shithouse snad in football. Which me personally, that's my favourite kind of player. Like I say to you, how much I love Yerry Mina, because he's just horrible. He's just a dirty dog. And I think I remember Carvalho for Chelsea was the same. He used to like put your finger up your ass and fucking pull your ears and stuff like that. I think that's what you need to do. It's the shithouse tactics anyway. Unmasks players and winds them up. Like sort of what Dan Anderson was doing yesterday to Nunes. He was pushing them about and get strikers off the game. And Ramos done that for 10-15 years at the highest level.
Is he ever going to retire? Because have you seen the specimen on him? Wow. Mate, 36, like, it looks like he's going to go for another 10 years, mate.
Was he
fit as well, isn't he?
Was he captain of the Spain team as well when they won 2 Euros and the World Cup?
Was it?
I was thinking about that, but I weren't sure.
Yeah,
it was like
Iniesta?
Puyol or Xavi or Iniesta. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I couldn't.
Definitely could have been him.
Could have.
But yeah, unbelievable. Like I said, he was close to going in mine.
Yeah.
I wanted the 10th, but I went made Casillas just because I wanted a goalkeeper. If I had to put him in and he did have that extra point, it wouldn't have changed the position. He'd still be 12th.
I'm surprised no one else. Or was it just 2 of them?
The reason I'm not surprised could potentially be the bias of a lot of the Liverpool fans do not like. They just do not like Ramos, what he did to Salah.
I mean, as I pointed out as well, he made Salah cry, and obviously Jews don't like him for that reason. Yeah. But it is what it is, isn't it?
You get rid of these Liverpool fans, don't we? Fucking bias.
I know that.
Alright, in 11th, one person picked them. And they put him second.
Go
on.
Sure.
Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
Go
on.
Right, this is the one. This is the one out
most
of
us
four I can agree with. Second, I don't know, but like, I haven't watched this documentary, but I know.
I've watched documentary and it's unreal. It is unreal, and I said before, again, if you're going to pick one of the old ones, I could go more with Maradona, because I've seen the documentary about him, and it's not just that, right? People in football will talk about Maradona like Messi, like Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? Like previous, because he was that good, and he was that good. Let's be honest. I've seen like the goals and the documentary, and he is that good. But second, he's not above Ronaldo or Messi for me. Like, regardless how good he was, he's not won 5, 6, 7 Ballon d'Ors. He's not won 5 Champions Leagues. He's not nowhere near them two for me. I think them two are on their own, like above anyone.
If someone else came in who's a lot older than us and put Maradona above Ronaldo, he'd be able to give us an explanation. He'd be able to talk to him. He'd be able to say like how he runs with the ball, like Messi, and all of this stuff that we hear about Maradona. He'd be able to tell us that, and he'd probably be able to try and convince us. But if Sean was here now, he couldn't, because
like growing up,
it was Sean who put him in, yeah.
Like growing up, my ma used to always say to me, "Just he's a cheat, but just watch how good he is. Look how good he is." And they were saying you'll never get anyone like him ever again. And obviously, we've struck lucky. Like the 3 things that you see about him is the hand of God, his goal from the halfway line, he skins everyone, and his little dance he does with the ball while he's doing a warm up.
Oh mate, that's iconic, that one, isn't it?
It's the most show thing. The warm his boots are not even fastened or not, and he's just dancing around, just flicking the ball up and bringing it down. It's like, but like growing up, all you heard was Maradona for me when I was a little one. That's the only one you could justify.
I can't really say anything about him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that's the one. That's the one old pick I could get on board with. Just not for second though. I couldn't.
Yeah. He won 2 Ballon d'Ors.
Did he give you an explanation why you put him in? Did you ask for it?
Yeah, he did. He said, watched a documentary or 2 on Madonna, and he was the first ever player who seemed untouchable and head and shoulders above everyone else who lived at that point. He literally single-handedly won leagues, cups, and international trophies on his own. Which, again, it's fair enough. It's the one I can get behind. I don't think he can justify having him over Ronaldo.
On a point on Maradona, if you probably ask anyone over the age of 40 or 50 for your top 10, I would say probably 99% of them would have Maradona in the top 3 easily. So again, my point is not Maradona shouldn't be in the top 3, because he probably is. But again, what we've said about the other 3 people is you can't, like, I mean, you've seen a documentary, which I've seen it as well, and it's mostly highlights, not a full 90-minute clip of every game. It's just, you can't have the knowledge behind someone you've watched documentary on to say he's better than Ronaldo, for example, or Messi, or whatever he's picked them above. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. But him putting him second nearly got Maradona into our top 10. He was 2 points off making top 10. So let's go move into our top 10. In 10th, only 3 people had him, which I was extremely surprised about. Again, could easily be in mine. I can't even give a reason why he's not in mine. But Alex had him at 7th, Mike had him at 7th, and Gaza had him at 8th. Xavi.
Just one or the other for me. It just come down to that for me. Just one or the other.
I said to you as well, didn't I, Ian? It was between him and someone. And
yeah,
it's a choice between him and who we think it's going to be. And for me, there's absolutely no question who was the better out of the 2 midfielders at the time. So that's the purely. I mean, Xavi was absolutely insane, by the way. But I don't think you can. Well, you can do what you want to your list, but I wouldn't put 2 teammates in at the same time. Partners, midfields, and it's got to be one or the other for me. And that's right. Iniesta. We all know what I'm talking about. Iniesta's a lot better than.
I was exactly the same process as you, Luke. I wanted them both in. It's like I don't want to put both of them in. I only want one.
But
I went for the other, like,
why do you have to do one or the other? Why can't you both? They were that good.
I know.
I don't think you have to. But what I'm saying is because you're trying to. Such a wide base, you want to try and mix it up a bit, not just pick, Barcelona 2011 was the best team ever, let's pick 5 of their players. You know, you could do that if you want to. You could just try. You could go to Barcelona's team and you had them, and you could go Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Eto'o, Xavi, Iniesta, Puyol, Dani Alves. Right there, my top 10. You could sit there and justify every one of them, say this is why they're in the top 10. You wouldn't disagree with it, but you want to. So I want to mix it round a bit and do like.
But what if the centre midfielder above him? Who he's better than? Our list is screwed because we wanted to go one or the other, and you didn't want to put him in when he is better than
I don't think you can have. There's only 1 or 2 centre mids I can say should be over him. So if someone random comes up now, like I don't know who, Roy Keane, for example. I'd be like, fuck off. But I mean, there's one who should definitely. I mean, it depends what position you say, but I mean, purely like number 6, number 8. There's only one who should definitely be above him, and then there's maybe one I can say I wouldn't have, but I can see why you're doing it. But I don't think he's going to be in the list.
He's made the top 10, hasn't he? Did you say it's the 10th place?
This is the 10th place.
Yeah, so
But
I'm happy he's made it in there. For me, that's just justifies he's made
but
it in
if you don't put Pirlo in,
yeah,
and you put Xavi in, Xavi's 9th. And 2 players are joined for 9th, and he'd be above them both. So why did you go Pirlo over Xavi?
Because Pirlo played a different role. I went for different roles.
That's just my option, isn't it? I mean,
could Xavi have played Pirlo's role? Could Pirlo have played Xavi's role?
No. I think Xavi was more quick, get the ball moving quick, whereas Pirlo would spread the ball and sort of. I think they were slightly different players, to be fair. Yeah.
But I'm happy he's made it in there, to be honest. Like,
well, I don't have Xavi in mine, and I have 3 other centre mids in mine.
Yeah, but when you say centre mids, I've got a feeling one of them is not going to be a centre. I think one of them, who I think you mean, is going to be more not a defensive mid, if that makes sense. Like pure number 6, number 8.
We'll see. But then, like, you don't have Xavi in, Bulb, and you have like 3 centre mids in as well. So let's see how it goes. For me, I think he should
be higher.
He should be above at least one of the people who's coming up in this next talking point. So the 2 people joined for 9th. I'll talk about the guy that I think deserves to be there, and I had in my list. 6 people had him, 4 people didn't. Sean didn't, Carl didn't, Coogan didn't, and Liam didn't. Alex had him at 10th. Gaza had him at 10th. Luke had him at 10th. I had him at 9th. And Mike had him at 8th.
So where did I put him then?
And you had him at 7th. You had him the highest at 7th, so you can go first, and that's Kaka.
Kaka, what a player, lad. Absolute, what a player. That year.
Well, what he's not saying, he's like...
Lad, just like... I thought it'd be higher most people's list, lads. But, well, AC Milan, 03 to 09, 193 appearances, 70 goals. Just that, and that what a ratio that is for a midfielder. Madrid 09 to 13, 85 appearances, 23 goals. He goes to Real Madrid and still doesn't get many games there. Probably wasn't there for a few weeks. He must have had injuries.
Yeah.
And then his achievements in it: Serie A 1, Coppa Italia 1, Champions League 1, Super League 1, World Club, FIFA Club 1, Liga 1, Copa del Rey 1, World Cup 1, 2 Confederations Cup, a Ballon d'Or, World Player of the Year in 07, and UEFA Team of the Year 3 times.
I was saying this about Kaka, right? Do you know the other day we were talking about our Premiership 10, and we were mentioning how good Steven Gerrard is, how good, which he is. That 2005 Champions League final, Kaka made Gerrard look like Leon Osman. Kaka was one of the best centre mid performances I've ever seen in my life. By the way, he was that good. Jordan, as you said, Bob, at them like 2003 to 2007 when he was at prime in AC Milan. He was
07. He was just wow. Like 07 was just like his main. Yeah,
I remember like
some of the
Champions League goals as well. Remember the one at Old Trafford where he headed it past Gabriel Heinze, was it, and slotted it. The one at Celtic Park where he's ran from like the halfway line, and he was unreal, mate, unreal.
Well, I'm not like a ritual football watcher, but along with some of the other people, or I wasn't. I'm starting to watch every game. I'd started to play for some reason at the age of 30.
And you want to go to the Cables games as well?
Yeah, I'm off to cook and Prescott watch Keswick. I don't know what's going on, but there's a couple of people in this list who really stand out as like making me love football and like watching football, and he's one of them. He was he's
one of my favourite all-time players. Like, if I was to name not the best, but like if you say you pick your 5 favourite players, he'd be like, I'd say, top 3 easily, because he was so good to watch because he was that good at football.
Everything he did going forward, just looked so easy.
And the ball to Crespo,
and he was massive.
The 3rd goal in the Champions League finals, one of the best through balls I've ever seen in my life.
And this is a fella that was in like an unbelievable Brazil squad, by the way, and he didn't look out of place at all in that squad.
Yeah, unbelievable player.
Who picked him in? So us 3, Gaza.
Us 3, Gaza, Mike, and Alex. And Bulb had him the highest at 7th.
Not even got an accolade because he was one of my favourite players, absolute baller.
Yeah, absolutely quality player. Like I said, one of the first people to really make me love like watching football. All right. Now this one.
Why is he sighing there? I don't like when he sighs.
Above Xavi and level with Kaka, 3 people had him. So let's put down perspective. 6 people had Kaka. 3 people had this man. And it was Carl, Mike, and Coogan. The highest he was at was 4th from Carl.
Gerrard, isn't it?
Steven Gerrard.
No. I did not think he'd be in this list.
I can see why Mike and Carl have both bought Steven Gerrard in because they picked him first.
Yeah, which is fair enough, innit?
I'm sorry, but no. I love Gerrard, you know, but he's not. I mean, look at Gerrard's Kaka, mate. There's just chalk and cheese between. Because, as I say, Gerrard was absolutely unreal, and we've talked about how good he could do everything, but purely football-wise, Kaka was so much better than Steven Gerrard. He was that good. I
disagree. I don't think he was so much better than that. He was definitely in and around the same talking point, but under no world should Gerrard, in my opinion, be above Xavi and Kaka. If we did this with non-Liverpool fans, I know people don't like Liverpool and there is a lot of hatred on Liverpool. You two love Gerrard, like, I mean, you just love Gerrard. Yeah. But as a player, you respect what he's done, and he hasn't made yours. I don't think he makes top.
Ian, you just hit the nail on the head, mate. If you ask 99 out of 100 football fans who don't support Liverpool, in fact, you know what? Screw that. If you ask 100 Liverpool fans, 100% wouldn't put him in the top 10. It's only Liverpool fans who put him in the top 10. And I get it. Steven Gerrard was absolutely insane, but come on, top 10. Nah.
And like I said in the last podcast, I mean, I said to use off after the podcast. I said if anyone puts Gerrard in the top 10, I'm walking out my room. I haven't, because
where did he put them again? Where did he?
Fourth.
Carl had him 4th.
4th, mate. That's.
Coogan had him 7th, above 2 people who haven't been mentioned.
4th is horrendous when you think of the top 4.
Mike Fairplay had him 10th.
Yeah, it's like Mike's in. He's like, but to think of the people that we know that should potentially be top 4, we were saying the top 4 picks itself. So I think that someone's missed someone else to put Gerrard.
Even Gerrard is 4th greatest ever players.
Carl, if you would have put him 10th, mate, it would have been sound or like no me doubt. But 4th, mate, you are one deluded prick. I agree with Ian. You didn't watch.
Never won a domestic title.
I agree with Ian. You did not watch football to 08. I'm not asking that you watched it back in the day with Dennis Irwin. 08, you watched football. Fucking.
Well, he hasn't watched Kaka in 07, has he?
He's never watched Kaka. Doesn't he know what Kaka is?
So, like, I honestly think I fucking love Steven Gerrard. If he went to, like I said in the last podcast, if he went to Real Madrid, I think there's a world he could be on this list. No doubt in my mind, if Steven Gerrard went to Real Madrid, there's a world he could be on this list. But the fact is, he didn't. He stayed at Liverpool. He didn't win a league title. Yes, he's fucking amazing. He's loved by Liverpool players. I honestly think if I sat down and did a non-biased list, I don't think he makes top 30.
So he was on my list of like 20 odd players, but it was one of the easy ones. You go, no, scrubbed off easy. It's that simple.
He probably makes my top 30 list because I love Steven Gerrard, but I don't.
Top 30, if it's like what we were seeing, definitely. Top 30 we were seeing.
I don't know, there's some fucking players out there, mate, that haven't even been mentioned that we'll go over on the end of the podcast. But yeah, he probably gets in man, but does he, like, and
he's
again,
like... Man, top 30, surely. He was unbelievable.
He was unbelievable. Maybe top 30 he's pushing it, but he's not 4th.
4th, mate, I just want to know who he's left out. Who's he left out?
Like, I'll say Mike putting him at 10th is not that bad.
Yeah.
I can, Mike's got a bit of bias about him. And I'll say again, which I mentioned on last week, Mike's a lot younger than us. So some of the people we've mentioned or will mention might not be specifically known to Mike as much as whatever. So I can see Mike why he's put him in. He's put him in 10th. Well, 4th, come on.
Even Mike had Kaka and Xavi above Steven Gerrard.
There you go then.
Gerrard probably makes, thinking about it, he probably makes 25. Top 25. He's probably in there.
Yeah, I'd probably put him in there himself, yeah.
I just can't wait for Ravi to see this because he's already left comments and then he was fuming with Carl. So I'm waiting until he sees this one then.
Fucking
but like,
me.
only 3 people had him in. Only 3 people had Javi in as well, which was shocking. But only 3 people had him in. 6 people had Kaka. That speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, next position. 3 points clear of Gerard and Kaka. Joint 8th place is 2 people, both on 15 points. The first one, 7 people had him in. The highest he was in mine and Kugan's at 8th. Mike, Liam, Gaza, and Carl had him at 9th. Is that 8th? Did I say he was at 8th in mine?
Yeah.
And then Bulb had him at 10th, and that's Maldini.
Yeah. It's our age. The names you've mentioned there is our age.
We touched on him before when we talked about Ramos, didn't we? And Danny Alves, like I did say if there's any other defender from our area you're going to put in there, it's going to be Maldini. So I've got no problem with Maldini being there. I just get Ramos because he's more my era, and I remember him, but I could remember him a lot more than Maldini. So he's unbelievable playing Maldini.
So I think Maldini was right-footed, naturally right-footed, and played left back. Just shows you how good of a player he actually was. To be play on his weak side of his body and just rack up the numbers he done was scary.
He was absolutely incredible. He made stuff look easy. You know the way you watch Van Dijk and he makes things look easy. He doesn't look like he's running really. He doesn't look like he's sprinting. He just always looks like he's just going. It's like that. He's just made everything look so easy.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
And when he lost his pace, he went to centre back and it just adapted his game even better. The way he read the game, his interceptions, his tactical awareness, he just had it all even when he lost his pace.
One of them players as well who played at a high level until he was late 30s at Champions. I don't know how old he was in the 2005-2007 finals, but he was 30. He's like
he was old, like
mid 30s, and he was still playing top level football. So quality.
When we think of
47 appearances.
When I think about Maldini, I don't even remember him in his really prime.
Yeah, I don't remember
25
finals ways. Yeah,
25 to 30. I don't even really remember him. But that's how fucking good he was when we watched them. You said Royals Royce defender Nesta, same thing as Maldini. It's absolutely
100%,
incredible,
100%.
Incredible. He didn't ever win. The only defender to win a Ballon d'Or was Cannavaro, isn't it?
He won 7 Serie A's, 1 Coppa Italia, 5 Champions League, 5 Super Cups, 2 Intercontinental Cups, and 1 World Cup. And 29 goals. 29 goals and 647 appearances.
So 109 lad like Ramos.
But I was gonna say Ramos. We reeled off. He was in 10 Team of the Years.
Yeah.
Maldini.
That's fucking insane, by the way.
Maldini was only in 2. Does that come down to the quality of defender, or does that come down to how Ramos is good and we've overlooked how good Ramos is?
I think it's a bit of both. I think
I mean, defenders back then.
Maldini wasn't one of the best defenders in the world. Only 2 years. He should have been in there more. But I think Ramos. Ian, I think you said it before. I think he gets a bad stick because people don't like him. Whereas Maldini, no one dislikes Maldini, but loads of people genuinely do dislike Ramos. So bias, you might not think you're being biased, but you're being biased when you're not picking Ramos in your team or whatever.
Back in the day, for Maldini, that horrible defender, everyone loved it. Now, with the, what's going on with society, look how evil he is, he's touching him and doing this, and look how horrible he is, he can't do that. All them are that's why everyone hates Ramos. He's brought back the actual old school way of defending, and people don't like it.
Yeah, and like I said, there might be a touch of how good defenders were.
Yeah.
Back then, around his era, you had Nesta, Cannavaro, Puyol, Stam,
Ram,
Piqué, Desai,
Richard Goff, lad, fucking nice.
There's a lot of fucking good defenders around that age. Right, joint with Maldini. Only 3 people had him in, so to put that in perspective again, 7 people had Maldini. 3 people had this man, and the joint 8th of 15 points. 2 people on the desk. 2 people out of those 3 had him. That was me and Luke. And Carl had him. The highest he was Carl's list, and he was 5th. Luke had him 6th, and I had him 7th. So I'll let Luke go first.
Nice vice versa,
but Luis Suarez.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about Suarez today. We laughed at Carl putting him number one, and the reason we laughed at Carl being number one because Luis Suarez was at his best when he was at Barcelona, and Luis Suarez when he was at Barcelona alongside Messi and Neymar, he was unplayable. Literally, he was unplayable. I know, like, again, it's one of them people you say, did he get overlooked because you got Messi and Neymar in there? But all three of them, like every one of them, were just absolutely insane in their own right. And I mean, again, he's one of them players. I fucking hate him because he was a prick, but he was so good, like really good. And he was, you know what? He's one of them players, right, as well. Like when he played for Uruguay, he was amazing as well. He was just always an 8 out of 10. He was never a 5. He went like, oh, we'll have a good game, bad game. He was an 8 every game he played. He was an 8 8, 9, 10 every game. Quality goals he scored, stuff he won. I mean, I'm sure a bit down is some of his goal scoring records for
I've got them here.
Barca.
Barca, the league goals, I think it is 147 and 191. Liverpool, 69 and 110. Ajax, 81 and 110. He then went to Atletico Madrid and scored 32 and 67.
These are just insane numbers. Insane numbers, yeah.
If Messi and Ronaldo aren't about, this man wins multiple Ballon d'Or. Actually, he probably
100%.
doesn't because he goes around biting people, and the politics probably wouldn't get him one. But if you take out that and like pure football and ability, he probably wins multiple Ballon d'Ors. He is, from what I recall seeing, he's the second best number 9 I've ever seen.
100%. 100%.
What's surprising is that only 2 Liverpool fans had him in.
Yeah, I'm surprised with that myself.
Yeah.
I don't know how Carl can have Gerrard above him when you're taking into it. Like I think he had Gerrard. He had Gerrard above him in his Prem one.
I can understand Prem one, but overall
no way, bro.
Absolutely no chance. No chance.
I just said bro.
So many moments with Suarez, loads of them.
Yeah.
And then like Coogan not having him in, but he's got Gerrard in is so surprising.
Makes no sense to me. Absolutely makes no sense.
Mike doesn't have him in.
Do you think they've overlooked him? Like, they don't even forgot about him because there's that many quality players out there to pick.
Even like say Liam, for example, put Figo in, and then he's missed out Suarez. I mean,
yeah.
I think that myself bizarre. Like, how can you? I mean, we've talked about Figo before and how good he was, but better than Suarez, really?
I'm surprised how many Liverpool fans have missed him out. I thought with the biasness as well, thought he'd be right up there, and he's justified.
He was absolutely incredible. Like just talking about the 2 seasons that he had, mate, he carried us. It's his fault we were going to win the league. It's also his fault we lost that we didn't win the league. Because if he wasn't banned, I think it was for the first 5 games, maybe.
What was he banned for?
Win. No comment. But we probably win the league.
Yeah, probably do. Yeah, 100%.
And he come
back and he scored like 33.
32 or 33, wasn't
it? In 31 games or something, wasn't it? So, you know what I mean?
Remember him against Norwich? Oh my god, they must have nightmares about him, lad.
Did he score like 2-3 hat-tricks against them alone?
Remember the one he scored? I think he scored from near enough the halfway line. Then he took some outrageous free kick. There's a goal I'm thinking of. I think it was against Newcastle. The ball comes over.
On a shoulder, lad. And he just sucks at a shoulder, took it on the keeper.
And that was like, and you can say, oh yeah, he was a number 9. He had Messi and Neymar with him. But the things he did at us was just proves how good he was.
I remember his first season for Barcelona. Maybe his first season, he played against PSG in the Champions League, and on one of the goals, he took a pass someone and curled it into the top bin, and then literally 3 minutes later, he got the ball, put it through David Luiz's legs, and put the ball in the same top corner, and it was just like, how the fuck have you just done that twice in 3 minutes? Like, same corner, same position. It was just like, fuck me.
Alien.
He scored 59 goals in his second season. 59 goals in 53 games in 2015-16. I don't know who won the Ballon d'Or around then. It's obviously one of the obvious 2.
Yeah.
But he must have been in with a shout, and he wasn't even in top 3. It probably comes down to politics.
So close to
I mean,
Dixie
come on,
Dean,
if you're scoring 60 goals in a season, mate, you've got to be up there, haven't you?
Yeah. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And for me, he should be above the guy who's next. But, you know, it's a matter of opinion. And it's multiple people putting them in. So, next, 7 points clear of Suarez and Maldini in 7th. 6 people had him in. I didn't, Sean didn't, Gaza didn't, and Mike didn't. The highest he was at was Carl and Coogan, and he was at 6th? Yeah, 6th. They both had him at 6th. Liam had it 7th. Alex had him at 8th. Luke had him at 9th. And Bulb had him at 8th. And it's Thierry Henry.
Yeah,
Just touched on the day how good he was. I mean, again, I don't know how you can justify having Steven Gerrard over Thierry Henry. Do you know what I mean? It's just how's that possible? But I mean, we did touch on how good Thierry Henry was and why he was so good today. So I've not really got much more to add on to him, but he's got to be up there.
Yeah, obviously, we focused on the Prem side of it, didn't we? So obviously, in all total, 600 appearances, 290 goals overall. And obviously we all know what he won in the Prem side of it, but like 2 Ligas, 1 Copa del Rey, 1 Champions League, 1 Super Cup, 1 World Cup, Euro Golden Shoe twice, World Cup All-Star Team, Prem Golden Boot twice, Prem Player of the Season twice, UEFA Team of the Year 5, and Hall of Fame. It shows like how dominant he actually was.
No one really talks about his stint at Barcelona, do they?
No.
But he went there. I think he played on the left, and he was unbelievable. I think his last season was a bit bad for them, but his first 2 seasons, unbelievable. And honestly, no one talks about his Barcelona stint. It's a bit weird.
It's one of them people, isn't it? It's how many people go to Barcelona in the last 15 years and have been overlooked by Messi because it's fucking Messi.
Yeah.
So you've got loads of people like, I don't know, he's not going to be on the list. Samuel Eto'o, man. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, these people who've been there and just sort of been like, Samuel Eto'o was getting 30 goals a season for like 4 or 5 years straight.
Samuel Eto'o. Oh, I forgot about Samuel Eto'o.
I'm surprised you didn't know because I sent you my 16.
He was in my list.
He was in there. Eto'o was on my list. I sent it to you like 16 wise.
What a fucking player. This is what I mean though about Gerrard not making like top 20. There's 10 people like there must be like 10 people in this list now that I've missed out, and then there's people who I've got in my notable mentions that I haven't put in who would probably go above Gerrard.
Like have you missed Eto'o?
Yeah, Eto'o's not in my list. I would have had Eto'o above Gerrard, Alves, Xavi.
I know this person.
I don't want to talk about my notable mentions, but there's people that I can't say, and there's obviously people above. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's so many players. Eto'o. We're not even meant to be talking about Eto'o, but Eto'o, what a player. Make sure we talk about him after the show.
But I think because when he was at Arsenal, Henry, he was the main man. When he's gone to Barca, he's not the main man. He's got 2 players there with him who were world class, and Messi was just Messi, and everyone went to see Messi. So if they forget about Henry's contribution.
Who was playing in number 9 at Barca? Was it Eto'o or was it Zlatan?
Eto'o was number 9, wasn't he? Because when he went to Milan, he went a bit wider than the Eto'o, but I think that's why Zlatan sort of went with it, because he weren't playing as much as he wanted to. But I remember in an interview
he was a swap with Eto'o. They swapped him with Eto'o.
I remember him saying in an interview, like, so when Eto'o went to Inter Milan with Mourinho, he won like the treble, didn't he? And he played out wide. And then I think the new manager come in and said to him, "You're playing out wide." He went, "No, I only play out wide for one manager, and that's Jose Mourinho." Yeah. So I always remember him saying that. So he must have been number 9 for Barcelona.
And Martinez, he said as well. I love Martinez. Evan.
In 6th place, 22 points above Thierry Henry. One person did.
Now, innit?
Yeah, huge. This is the top 6 is huge difference. One person didn't have this guy in, and it's shocking. It's Andres Iniesta.
What? Someone didn't have Iniesta?
Carl didn't have Iniesta.
Ooh, Carl. Told you someone missed out for Gerrard.
He's put Steven Gerrard in, and he's not. Oh my god!
I knew you had to miss someone else. Putting Gerrard in, eh?
Mate, on a serious note, right? This is arguably for me worse than Sean putting Di Stefano in it, because Carl's gone for recent players, I'm assuming, and he's missed out Iniesta, Steven Gerrard. That is criminal. Like, we need to go to his, pin him down, and just fucking piss all over him, just being a piss taker.
And then another very interesting. Someone else had Steven Gerrard above.
Coogan, it's got to be Coogan, isn't it?
Coogan had Iniesta at 9th.
No.
Oh my God, Coogan.
No.
Coogan. That is the super fan. And it's Coogan coming out there, isn't it?
I'm
making a note of this because I'm going to text him after saying, what the fuck are you playing at?
Right, like Iniesta, we're up to 9 La Ligas, 6 Copa del Reys, 4 Champions League, 2 Super Cups, 3 Club World Cups, 1 World Cup, 2 Euros, UEFA Team of the Year 6 times, FIFA World 11 9 times, and Steven Gerrard is sitting above him.
I cannot believe
he's still playing now.
In Japan or something, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen a more silkier midfielder move than Iniesta?
You could have the whole midfield around him in a circle, or to get to try and chase him, and he's just going in and out like that, just like.
He got in the FIFA World 11
9 times.
10.
There's a 10, I got 9, you missed one out.
No, wait, maybe. What? Oh yeah, 9 times, but not just 9 times. 9 times back to back.
Look at every that,
But Steven Gerrard sitting there.
You know when people used to say stuff like say David Silva and Santi Cazorla, where they go, he could find space in a phone box. Gemma Collins, lad. Andres Iniesta could literally do that though. He was that good.
Iniesta was incredible, lad. Incredible.
Did he score the winning goal in the World Cup as well?
I think so.
It was.
What positions did everyone have him in?
So the highest he was at, and this just shows how good these lists are and these players are. The highest he was at was 5th, and that was me and you who had him 5th. Yeah. Everyone else who had him in had him 6th, apart from Coogan who had him 9th, and Carl who didn't have him at all.
Well, he's one of the players I was saying to you guys before. He's got to be a mainstay in the top 6. I mean, how can you not have Ventus in the top 6?
I think there's six people that every single person should have had.
What did I say to you before, Bubba? There's 6 people everyone should have. It doesn't matter what order. Yeah. I mean, it does matter what order if you've got like the top 2, but the top 6 should be the top 6.
Yeah.
Do
you reckon it's something on going on with the families, you know what I mean? It's another family thing going on, isn't it?
Something in the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just Iniesta, like, you can't, like, we were talking like one or the other, Xavi Iniesta. This could be a big thing to say. I don't even think it's close.
I don't know. I'm fully agreed. They weren't close, lad. It was chalk and cheese. Them two, lad. He was unreal.
Iniesta could do everything.
They complemented each other so well, though.
And he was tired.
It was just skills as well. Like underrated.
He could go past people.
Yeah.
He could beat a man. He could find space. He could play the ball through. He could play close tiki taka. He was just
World Cup winner. Final goal was him, Iniesta.
World Cup, 2 Euros. I think he won the European Championships in under 19s, under 16s. Like, he's won 4 Champions Leagues. Don't think he ever won a Ballon d'Or, but don't think it's Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah. I mean, haven't they won like fucking 12 or something in a row between them? It's just like, come on.
Absolutely incredible player.
Like, the thing, the assist to Messi was just,
He was also put into the UEFA Euro all-time 11. But I don't know if that's the same much because Lionel Messi's not in it. So.
Not European.
Oh yeah. Well then that one
no. But like the mad thing about he only got 35 goals in it. Like, it shows you the role he played. He was just there to create.
Yeah, it's not his job, is it? Not his job.
Oh, I thought the Euro 11 was like European teams. It's okay. Never mind. My bad, boys. Right, moving on. 5th, all 10 people had him.
Wait.
Iniesta was on 44 points. This man was on 60 points.
Big jump again.
5th. Who had him the highest? Liam and Mike had him the highest at 3rd. Alex, Gaza, and Sean had him 4th. Coogan had him 5th. Bulb had him 5th. I had him 6th. Luke and Carl had him 8th. It's Ronaldinho.
Guy needs no introductions. Does not need no introductions.
When we talk about players who made me fall in
Oh,
love, like, I
mate.
think he made a lot of people fall in love with football.
He got me horny on many occasions. I'm just saying that. Like, I squealed like a pig a few times when he got the ball. And oh my
Goal against
God.
Chelsea, one of the most iconic goals ever, innit? The little toe poke.
That was incredible.
Yeah,
But-
Petr Cech just stood there like, what the fuck's just happened? He just didn't have a clue what happened, lad.
And was it John Terry in front of him as well? And he's just like dancing, just looking at dancing. John Terry's just like, what?
You talk about players who made it look easy, and he did. It was like he didn't even try. He didn't try,
Oh.
and he legit probably didn't try. Like he used to get.
I was just going to add on to this. The reason he's quite low down for me is purely because he had the ability to be one of the best players to ever live, and I think, not saying he wasted the talent because he didn't, but as it's well known, he was a party animal. He liked to go out and bevy and all that. If he had to say the work ethic of, like, say, fucking Suarez or something, he would have easily been a top 3-4 players ever. But he had them like 4 years at Barcelona where he was like amazing. But either side of that, he was just like, as you say, was he asked?
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
I think he just played to make his own skills, the flip flop.
He did. He played for joy. Didn't he? He weren't like, oh, money or whatever. He smiled, wasn't it?
He's what you think of when you think of a Brazilian.
Yeah, he is. He is. Like when you say Brazilian, you think Ronaldinho, like the flair, just like when he first done that flip flop, mate. Oh my word! Everyone was in the back garden for 2 hours, like a couple hours later, trying to do it. It's like, how has he done that? And Meggy at the same time. Yeah.
Ballon d'Or winner as well.
Do you remember
World
he
Cup
scored
winner.
a goal at the Bernabeu? He scored 2 goals at the Bernabeu and he got clapped off by the fucking Real Madrid fans. These are people who throw bricks at their own players' cars, even though they've won 4 or 5 Champions League and Gareth Bale, and they fucking clapped him off as a Barcelona player. That shows you how good he was, you know what I mean?
He won a lot, but he didn't win as much as he could.
Yeah.
And he literally.
Yeah, 100%.
I read a story that, like, when Pep went there, when he took over Barca, he got rid of 2 people straight away, and he got rid of Ronaldinho and Deco because they used to just show up to training pissed. Like, they just didn't care. So he just went, yeah, you're gone.
Yeah.
He's just incredible. He won the Copa America, the World Cup, the Confederations Cup, won everything with Brazil. Everything.
If that player that he was just bothered about making a right twat out of you, he was happy to make a show of you, and he wasn't bothered.
The person who doesn't come close to him, in my opinion, but does the same kind of stuff is another Brazilian, Neymar. He used to do the same skills and just try to take the piss out of his opponent.
You know what Liam was saying today about unpopular opinions, and we should have one. I think Neymar is so much better than people think he is, you know. I think he's unreal, but he's just, when he left Barcelona to go to PSG, it's just like career suicide. Like, he was unreal by Barcelona.
He wanted to be about him. That's what it is.
Brazil's all-time top goal scorer. When people say he's overrated, they haven't got a clue to. He's not fucking overrated, mate. He's just a bellend, and that's why people don't like him. And going to go to PSG at his age was just wrong. But Neymar was unreal.
Oh no, he's on my notable mentions as well. We can talk about him a little bit, but he's on my notable. He's got 74 goals for Brazil. Like, he's incredible. He's an incredible player. I think he could have left Santos a bit earlier, and I think he left Barcelona too early. But
That was the mistake. If he would have stayed at Barcelona for a few more years, he would have probably won a few more, 1 or 2 more Champions League with the team he would have had if he stayed. He just went for money, didn't he? He went for money and try and
Be the main
be
man.
on his own. Yeah, be without Messi, but bad move.
I wasn't surprised to not see him in anyone's list, but
No, I think he's
also-
underrated by fans, and I think people generally dislike the fella because he's a bellend and he rolls around diving, and people don't want to put him anywhere near the top 10 for reasons like that. Because when you think of Neymar, you just think, oh, he gets touched and rolls down 10 times, which he does.
Is
People like that.
he the only player that's been booked for taking the piss out of another player with skills? I'm sure the referee stopped him, booked him, didn't he?
He did. He don't, because he don't like the rainbow flick over his head, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the referee went over said, don't take the piss. He's like, fuck, I'm a footy player, I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
scandalous that he got booked for that.
I got booked for it, yeah.
But yeah, he's one of the players that I wasn't surprised I was unpicked, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been against him being picked like at 10th.
There's arguments to put him in there. So if someone would have put him in there at 10th, like
The next player with 8 points difference between him and between Ronaldinho and him. All 10 people had him. Someone had him 10th. Someone had this man 10th, and if he didn't have him 10th, he'd be 3rd in the overall rankings. Someone had him 2nd.
I know exactly where we're going here, and it's
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And
Who do you reckon? Go on, one person. Go on.
One person had him 10th, and one person had him 2nd.
Sean 10th.
Sean had him 10th.
What the fuck's wrong with him?
And Carl had him 2nd.
Alex has got lucky that his selections from your day has just been absolutely overshadowed by Sean and Carlos game. I mean, fuck me.
Like, if I was going with my heart and not my head, R9 would be 2nd. But with my head, there's a player you just he's 2nd. He's 2nd or 3rd, like guaranteed.
What we were saying before about Ronaldinho saying like he wasted his career. On the flip side of this, Ronaldo could have been the best ever player if it weren't for his injuries. Because when he was like 18 to like 22, 23, he was scoring like what Messi and Ronaldo do. Like he was getting goals, average a game. He was that good. I worked out before. Let me have a look. What's it? Surely, right. So up until he was about 27, 28, like because he started getting bad injuries around the time, didn't he? He scored a total of 257 goals in 340 games. That's an average of 1.3. So a goal every 1.3 games.
One better. At the age of 21, now let me put this in perspective for you. At the age of 21, Thierry Henry had 31 goals in 134 games. Cristiano Ronaldo had 36 goals in 182 games. Lionel Messi had 51 goals in 140 games. Michael Owen, before 21, amazing, 76 goals in 156 games. Ronaldo had 167 goals in 185 games at 21 years of age.
Isn't his stats as well that most of his goals are in the penalty box as well?
I'm not sure.
It's
but
always all of them. You always went round the keeper. There's certain stats in it. You always went round the keeper doing the same skill.
Step over.
Just step over and round it. He constantly done it, and as well, he got clapped off at Old Trafford, didn't he, when he tormented them?
That was going to be my point. One of my first memories.
Yeah, and he clapped them off like literally.
One of my first memories of football was the hat trick at Old Trafford, where the third one he just got the ball from 30 yards out, just went smack it top in, just fucking hell, what a goal, what a player, mate.
And you know, before he was 21, he got all those goals. Like I think Neymar, for instance, got 140 in 227, but obviously he's at Santos. Ronaldo was PSV and then Barcelona.
Yeah.
He's
played for Barcelona, Real Madrid, Inter, and AC Milan, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like the two biggest teams in both countries, and it's just like, and they probably all still love him anyway.
34 goals in 37 games for Barca. 49 and 68 for Inter, and then he went to Madrid and he was getting injuries, but he still played 127 games, scored 83 goals. I think he's
probably the best finisher what's ever been. He's got to be, hasn't he? Like purely finishing match, got to be, hasn't he?
I think, again, if I was going with my heart, he's 2nd on my list. I think he's like he was just fucking incredible. Absolutely, I just don't even have words to describe how good he was. You used to watch him just fly past players, step over. Oh my god, so fast.
10 flat.
See, I can't even get mad at Carl for having him 2nd, because I could make a case to put him 2nd, but
I don't think that's a bad shout. Yeah, but 10, fuck me.
R9.
He's won. Sean's talking about Pele. Pele won 3 World Cups. Alright, Ronaldo won 2, and you've watched them play.
Got 2 Ballon d'Ors as well, hasn't he?
And the one he lost, the one he didn't win, I don't think he played, or did he play in the final?
He was sick.
Something happened.
He was sick, and he played, didn't he?
Yeah, and they ended up losing. And people still to this day say that final was fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because was it in France?
Yeah, he rang someone, didn't he? Said, hey, he's not playing, on the list. He's not playing.
Yeah.
He fainted or something, didn't he?
Yeah, something happened to him.
Yeah.
Even that, you talk about World Cup, wasn't he up until a couple of years ago? And closer scored the all-time World Cup top goal scorer, Ronaldo as well. So, I mean,
if he wins that '98 World Cup, he wins 3 World Cups on the spin. And in between winning those 3 World Cups, he won 2 Copa Americas. Like if he'd have won the 3rd one, and he got runner-up in the 1995 Copa America as well. So if you want to talk about Pele and Brazil, mate, Ronaldo was something else.
Ronaldo's another one of them players where he'll always have, like...
Question mark?
No, I mean, as in, like, when he'd go to, like Bob said before, when he gets on one-on-one with the keeper, he'd do a step over and score. So, like, he's always, everyone knows that. Everyone, like, knows if someone goes through and goes a step over, like, oh, Ronaldo used to do that, that's what he'd do. And the amount of goals he'll say he scored, but he'd literally do the same thing, and he still couldn't save because he was that good.
There's some mad stat there. I didn't play a good time, though. There's some mad stat. Most of his goals come from going round the keeper around the box. It's horrendous how many times he's done it.
How many UEFA Team of the Years he was in?
Do you know how many UEFA he was? No.
Have you said this before?
One.
One Team of the Year he was in.
You'd love to know what striker was getting in before him,
Di Stefano.
Yeah. Pele. Oh my god. So we can move on from him. But yeah, if this fucking clown didn't have him in 10th, he'd be above this man that we're about to mention now. All 10 people had him. The highest 3 people had him. I had him 3rd. Carl had him 3rd. Gaza had him 3rd. The lowest someone had him was 5th. Alex had him 5th. Mike had him 5th. And Sean had him 5th. And then everyone else had him 4th. And it's Zinedine Zidane.
Easy. What a player. What a player. First thing I think of, apart from his headbutt, is his last professional game was at the World Cup at 34 years of age, and he was the best player at the World Cup. By a fucking mile, by the way, let's be honest, by a mile. He ran the World Cup at 34 years of age. I don't say prime of his career, because he weren't at the prime of his career, but he played like he was at the prime of his career, and that was his last professional football moments, and he was just running games against Brazil and all these teams. He was...
Probably the best ever Champions League final we'll see as well.
Oh, the volley.
Right. That came down from the Pepsi Max, and he's just watching it, and it's bang left foot. Thank you very much.
This might sound dumb, but like I watched Gerrard, for instance, and then you watch Zidane, and I think Zidane was Gerrard, but times 5.
On the ball, technically wise, there was just it's just no comparison really, is there?
No, he was...
Things he could do with a football at his feet, lad, is just like, I mean, you can't teach people to be that good at football. You've just got it. Do you know what I mean? There's just no training you can do to be as good as Zinedine Zidane was with the ball at his feet.
It's mad that way. It's hard to justify it. As soon as you mention the name, it like, do we need to even say anything?
No,
Exactly.
we don't. But for me, there's a world where I could sit there. Because like, you look at Messi and Ronaldo, for instance, right? And you say, oh, look at their numbers, look what they've done. But, well, Messi, you watch them and you can see how he glides past people and whatnot. But you could make a case for Zidane to be one of the best footballers ever. Like, the best footballer ever.
What you just said, Liam, right? If you're saying purely football-wise, not what you've done, what your numbers are, who is better at football at Zinedine Zidane or Cristiano Ronaldo? Zidane's better at football than Cristiano Ronaldo. He's better at football, but he's not better than Ronaldo because it's not just about technical ability. But if you're saying give the ball to someone's feet who can do better things, it's Zidane. It's not even clear.
People's arguments are stats, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And honest, they always go, well, you've done this, or he didn't do that, but he did. It's always everyone's argument.
That was incredible. Zidane's one of them people that you've got to watch. You had to have watched him. He was just unbelievable. He was 6'1", but he moved like he was the size of Iniesta. But he was as strong as fucking Yaya Toure.
I go back to the World Cup and against Brazil it was, and I remember like there was a couple of highlights where the keeper kicked the ball to him, and he brought it down with like his like the back of his heel or something, like just bring it. And he's like 34 against Brazil, and bringing balls down from the keeper from his back and his heel and his flicking it down to himself and just then running past people. It's like,
He could have played for another 4 years.
oh, mate, he retired at Real Madrid at 34, and I'd written this down before. So in his last full season at Real Madrid, when he's 34, he got 9 league goals in 29 games. That was his most league goals contribution in like 13 years. So he was still playing at a higher level at 34 than most people ever would. So he easily, if he's at one of the best teams in the world, one of the best players in the team at 34, he could have easily went into like 35, 36, 37 easily.
He played in his last season a 38-game season, and then went to the World Cup and played every game of the World Cup as well.
And again, as you said before, he's the best player at the World Cup, and he was still, you know what I mean?
And the Spanish league's not known for fast pace, it's all about technical ability, which he had in abundance. So he didn't need to rely on speed and pace. He could just do it just by technical his ability, because it wasn't that kind of league where if he goes to the Prem, he's got to chase down people whacking him. He gets time to do what he wants.
Never won a Ballon d'Or.
Surprising. So it's surprising, but then say with Luke there saying what 9 goals was his best contribution. That's why he goes against him, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, moving on.
I wonder who's going to be.
Obviously, we know it's Messi or Ronaldo. So, in second with 84 points. So, not everyone had him in second. No one had him in first. Not everyone had him in second. Someone had him third. Someone had him 7th.
Luke, take your guess. Just take your go on, just take your guess. Go on, lad.
I don't even need you know it's fucking Sean.
Nope.
Carl.
Carl had him 7th.
7th.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
7th. 7th. Yeah, Cristiano 7th.
Where did you have Steven Gerrard?
4.
Right, yeah, so
above Cristiano Ronaldo, he had Thierry Henry, Luis Suarez, Steven Gerrard, Zinedine Zidane, R9, Lionel Messi. So before we actually talk about Ronaldo, let's just take that. And then...
You know what, right, on a serious note, you know when we have our banter in our group about football and all that, and like we all say clueless Carl, he's never going to live this down. Cristiano Ronaldo 7th. There is literally nothing he can ever say to me, and I'm just going to say Ronaldo 7th.
He has sent his exclamation into Ian, like, hasn't he? Because he said it to me.
I don't care, lad. He can say fucking.
Yeah, he said to me. He said
nah.
No. He said he dislikes the lad. That was why he still allowed that. He dislikes him. That was it. Do you know how hard it was to know that? Like, I knew what Carl was laughing at me. That I knew where he'd put him. And he turned around to him and said, I've changed him back to where I've put him. I was like, no. And he was like, lad. And he's like, yeah. I was like, wow. And he went, I dislike him. I know when he was arguing with me in the group, I was thinking, I need to say it. And trying to not say nothing because it's going to wreck it because I will kick off. Like, oh, no, Carl, you can't.
I originally said to him, change your list. Like, I'm not putting your list in if you don't change
When you were
your
saying
list.
you would solo, is that why? Cause
Yeah.
And he sent me a changed list.
What was he changed it to?
And then I told him to... I said, well, just use your old one. He moved Cristiano Ronaldo up to 4th.
That's still criminal to me. That's still...
Yeah. Like, he still had Zidane,
There's absolutely
R9 and
no
Messi above him.
Even if Ronaldo comes to ours and fingered Laura now, I'd still have him number 2. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, lad. You're not changing him. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, don't like him. Fucking 7th.
It's 2 podcasts now, and twice Laura's been mentioned in 2 podcasts.
Upstairs, carrying away in the corner.
Just for the podcast, Laura is a soon-to-be wife. Oh, fucking hell, right. Well, yeah, and Sean had him 3rd as well. So, he ended up on 84 points.
On Ronaldo, right. I put him 2nd, I have put him 2nd, but over our years we've had these talks about Ronaldo, Messi. I've always said I prefer Ronaldo over Messi. Messi's a better footballer than him, which is why I put him number 1. But I've always said, like, I prefer Ronaldo because of what he's done, different leagues, whatever. I was just on Wikipedia before, as you do, looking through like different stats and all that. And one of the stats I come across, and I just think this is mind blowing, by the way. So for international level, right, Lionel Messi, in competitive games, this is not friendly games, so competitive games like World Cup, qualifiers, whatever, Messi played 114 games and got 47 goals competitive for Argentina. Ronaldo played 137 games and got 98 goals. Double the goals Messi got in competitive games at international level.
And Messi had better players around him as well.
Better player, and then you say stuff like Champions League. We went to this the other day, actually, funny enough. Champions League games for Real Madrid. 101 games for Real Madrid, 105 Champions League goals. That is absolutely out of this world, insanely good. And the fact that someone's put him 7th, where he's the all-time top goal scorer in history, all-time top Champions League goal scorer in history, 5-time Ballon d'Or winner.
Well, we might as well talk about
Both of them.
Ronaldo versus Messi.
Yeah.
Like, we know Messi's first. Everyone had him in.
obviously,
Everyone had him first. He had max points. So we might as well just talk about them as a pair. We'll never see a rivalry like this again. Everyone says Mbappe, Haaland, whatever. This is something you can't say you'll never see. I don't think we'll ever see. But who knows?
It was good at the same time. Both in the prime at the same time. Not a chance.
Thing that changed, because I was always like one year I'm Messi, the next year I'm Ronaldo. I wasn't sure. The thing that settled it for me really is Ronaldo got turned into a number 9, and Ronaldo got turned into, I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna put the ball in the back of the net, and I'm gonna get you goals, which is fine, great. And that's why his stats are so high. But Messi plays for the team, comes deep, gets the ball, takes people on, and links play, and still has the stats. That for
Can't
me
argue
is...
with goals. Can't argue with it. Like, as I say, I've always preferred Ronaldo, but footballing wise, Messi's so much better at football than Cristiano Ronaldo, and you can always go back to goals and whatever. And Messi's stats are up there. He's got obviously the assists are like a lot more than Ronaldo's got, and I think for me personally, right, my all-time favourite goal ever was Lionel Messi against Bayern Munich when he sent Jerome Boateng for a hot dog.
Like a ball.
I mean, you'll see goals that are better than that, but that goal for me is my all-time favourite goal. The way Boateng went down, he'd been sniped like Jamie Edwards, lad. He went down like he's been fucking shot in the head, but fell back and then he chipped the keeper at the end of it as well.
I chipped Neuer, who probably is one of the best goalkeepers in the world at times, well, with his weak foot.
Yeah, 100%. Just different.
For me,
you'll never see anyone like I say, right, Cristiano Ronaldo's not the most technically gifted player what's ever lived. Like Ronaldo, like R9, Zidane, even like Iniesta are probably better at football than Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's got like the work ethic, the physicality, the attitude to be the best ever player. But Lionel Messi is the best ever player with the, like, he can do things with a football which no one can ever do and no one ever will do again. Just purely, and like you see him now, Messi at PSG, and he's not arsed. He literally doesn't give a fuck about playing for PSG. So he just does his own thing, doesn't he? But when he tries to do something, like I remember me Gaza and Wico went to Madrid to watch Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona, and lad, 80 minutes to 90 minutes but played, Messi didn't do nothing. He just stood there, back to goal, just like give me the ball and I'll do something. And then one thing he done is got the ball, skinned 3 people, went through and goal and scored the winning goal, which won in the league as well. He just has the ability to just stand there and go, I can't be arsed now, and then next minute just fucking do whatever he wants to do. Whatever he wants to do, he can do it.
Yeah, for me, you could say he glides, doesn't he? It's literally everything it's just glides. No matter how many players try and kick him while he's doing it, he just goes past them with ease, and at the end of the day, he's got the finish.
Too fast and skillful.
Yeah, it's like one of those ones that everything seems to slow down for him. It looks like it's dead fast paced for us watching it, and it just feels like, how have you done that movement past 4 players?
I just think if you're a defender, how can you possibly defend against Messi? Because there's nothing you can do. Yeah. If you lunge in, the ball's past you, gone. You can't catch him in a foot race because he's too fast. You can't get the ball off him because he's too skillful. He's just, I don't know how you defend it. I don't know how people have defended against him. It's just numbers. That's the only way you can stop him. Is just like 3 of them on him. It's the only way you're going to stop him in it.
Yeah, and the way I pick Messi, it gets you more excited for me. It's
100%.
It just gets you a more exciting player than Ronaldo to watch.
Ronaldo will do skills and then knock the ball past and use his strength and his pace, and he's gone. Yeah. Whereas Messi will just run with the ball, and the ball's just like
stuck to his foot, isn't it?
Just stuck on his foot. He's just amazing. But so's Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, you'll never see it. Let me ask you, if them two, there's a chance that it happens. There's a chance these two play against each other in the World Cup final. And a lot of people are saying if Ronaldo wins, he's the best ever. Messi wins, he's the best ever. Does that change anything for you? Who wins that game?
No. I will say again, ask me who my favourite is, and I'll say Ronaldo for the reasons I give. But purely footballer-wise, Lionel Messi is a far better footballer than Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, there's no argument can be said. Like, this argument's going to be going on for years, which it has been. Who's better? And it'll just be, they'll give reasons why, like goals, medals. But if you're saying who's a better footballer, there's no question whatsoever who's a better footballer.
This is why what you've seen matters so much. Like, Sean's got all these players in, and
Nail,
you're like,
yeah, nail. If you went to Google and went Ronaldo, he's like what I said to you before, the all-time top goal scorer in Champions League history. I think he's the all-time top goal scorer in history, and then he's got the most international goals, I think, as well. Maybe Ali Dyer's name is higher. So if you looked at purely at that, you'd say, oh, Ronaldo's better, he's got more goals. But watching Messi do what he can do,
like the new generation will look at it in 40, 50 years, the way we look at Pele and Maradona and stuff, and we'll be like, well, we can't really go off stats. So who's the better? But we have seen with our own eyes that Messi is the better.
Yeah, 100%.
And that thing of would he ever do it in the Prem it's just daft. It literally is just daft. He's tormented the best English clubs in Champions League. And you think he's going to worry about fucking playing against Silva?
I know, they say this, don't they? Could they do it on a cold night in Stoke? I mean, is fucking Robert Hoof going to get near Messi, is he? Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
Like, Shawcross will nail him. Mate, Shawcross will nowhere near him.
But that's what they say. They say, oh yeah, they'll it's like, do you not think people in the Spanish league are trying to kick the fuck out?
Sergio Ramos started for 10 years, lad. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Nah, Robert Hoof will get him though.
Yeah. Sergio
Ramos, one of the best friends ever, couldn't get near him. Yeah. But Ryan Shawcross from Stoke City is going to fucking put him in his pocket. Come on.
Fucking Chris Samba.
It's just mad. When they say that, it's like, wow. It's, yeah.
Right, some notable mentions, boys. Our list is done. I don't know if you've got any wrote down yourself, but I'll go through. Feel free to stop me at any time. Raul, Neymar, Buffon, Romario, all of those we touched on. One who was before our time. I don't know too much about him, but I wrote him down just in case you guys know anything about him at all. But Baresi.
No. I know he is centre back.
Yeah, he's meant to be unbelievable.
Never seen him play, yeah.
Modric, don't know if he gets anywhere near this list, but Modric, Roberto Baggio, don't know much about him, meant to be amazing. Nesta, we spoke about. Zlatan, who I think you could definitely make a case to be up here. Done it in every single league. Someone I was very close to putting in as my wild card 10th pick with Casillas was Clarence Seedorf. He's won Champions Leagues with different teams. Didn't see enough of him to put him in. Think he's very underrated, going off what a lot of other footballers say, a lot of pundits say. You know, he was close for me. Cannavaro, only defender to win a Ballon d'Or, and he was tiny. Marcelo. I think Marcelo was brilliant. Someone I didn't put in, but now that I've just mentioned Marcelo, Roberto Carlos. But for me, I think Marcelo. I would have Marcelo before Carlos.
Yeah. Cafu.
Cafu, Shevchenko. I think his career got ruined when he came to Chelsea.
100%.
That doesn't happen. It changes. Philip Lahm.
I was going to say Lahm. And it's one more for me. I don't know if you're going to name him. Like, I'll keep him until you finish.
Manuel Neuer, Samuel Eto'o.
Right, my work Luke's got two. I had Del Piero.
Yeah.
Del Piero. I've got Toni Kroos and Karim Benzema.
Yeah, Benzema.
He's racking up the numbers now, and
like,
he's still going. Still going at 34, 35. Champions League winner 5 times. Whatever he's got. Undeniable quality, isn't it?
And played in the shadow of Ronaldo for that many years as well.
And is he now the third all-time top goal scorer at Madrid behind Di Stefano? Is that right? I'm sure he is. Last season he made top 3. I think he went above Raul last season to be third top goal scorer.
Does Kevin De Bruyne get anywhere near this list?
Yes, 100%. 100%. He's got to.
Yeah, once he retires.
When you're talking about, like, say, Xavi And like, you know, Steven Gerrard's in there, mate. Kevin De Bruyne is better than Steven Gerrard. He is. I think he is. I think he's a better player than Steven Gerrard.
I think Gerrard is better, but
no, I don't think he is.
I think by the time Kevin De Bruyne is retired, we're talking about a different.
When he retires, if he carries on doing what he's doing, and we do this list again, in
like Ramos,
years and times, he's going to be mentioned somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. If he carries on going the way he's going, but the way he plays football, he should carry on the way he's going because he doesn't like rely on pace. He's just technically so good. So he should just carry on for the next 3 or 4 years at the top level he's at now and just surpass any midfield in the Premiership, really.
What does Virgil van Dijk need to do to get near this list?
Stop getting skinned by Mitrovic.
I don't think he can. I think he's past the point now. If he was went to Liverpool 2-3 years earlier, and he was at the level he was like last year, 2 years ago, like for like more, he's Virgil van Dijk was amazing for 2 years. He had a year out injured, and then last season he's probably still the best defender in the world, but I don't think he was as good as he was 2 years ago. I'm not saying he's finished. I think he's still the best centre back in the world, but I don't think he's, even when he retires, even if he stays at the level he is now for like another 2 years, I don't think he's consistent enough as much as like Ramos and Cannavaro, Maldini and Nesta to be up there with them, because they were top level for 10-12 years, whereas Van Dijk is only going to, even if he does another 2-3 years, he's only going to, exactly. So even if he does another 2-3 years, he's still going to have only had 5-6 years at the top level. So for me, it's not as enough as them, and obviously he's only won 1 Premier League. I know that's not the barometer of all good things, but Ramos and 5 Champions Leagues, whatever, 4 or 5 league titles. Maldini's got how many? So these players have done it for top level and won it, whereas Van Dijk at the moment is like 31 and he's only won 1 Champions League and 1 Premier League. So not for me.
I think like even like the Palace game there, I reckon Van Dijk 2 years ago, Zaha doesn't score that.
100%.
And
I said this last season, not as a bitter blue that I am, but since the injury, obviously you can't come back from an injury like that and just be automatically as good as he was, but he weren't as good now as he was before his injury. And I'm not saying he won't be, but yeah, he was better than he was before his injury, and that's a fact. Yeah. And given his age of what he is now, he's not 31's not old, obviously, but it's hard to come back at 31 than it is when you're 23, 24, you know, from a big injury like that. So
and I've opened up and said as well, Matip had a better season than last year for me.
Yeah, loads of people have said that.
Yeah.
He does Salah get anywhere near this list? What does he have to do?
Very soon. Very soon. It's not going to take very soon for me. Very soon.
People who's been close to winning.
One
of the few people who've been close to winning a Ballon d'Or over Messi and Ronaldo.
If he put
Salah 20-30 goals in seasons, you look back over his career and say for the past 7-8 years he scored 30 goals for 7-8 years in a row. That's like Thierry Henry levels of goal scoring, isn't it? So you can't deny that, really.
2 years and he's on that list easily. Not a problem.
Notable mention: Sadio Mane. Mane, does he get it? When goes to Barca, wins. Not Barca, sorry, Bayern wins leagues.
I mean, Sadio Mane is the personification of you need to watch him to put him in there. Like if you're looking stats wise at Salah to Mane, you're picking Salah 100% of the time. But I think Mane brings more to the team than what Salah did. So you need to watch them to say he'd be in there. And I've always thought Mane was better than Salah, just because he was more of a team player than what Salah is. And what I'm saying is, you're putting Salah on there, you've got to need to mention Mane as well, yeah.
And one we didn't mention, don't think he got anywhere near anyone's list. Lewandowski.
No, not for me. No, I mean, scoring in Germany's not the same as scoring in Spain, Italy or England, so no denying he's one of the best number 9s in the most recent eras, but I don't think you can put someone in who's only scored against Freiburg and fucking Schalke and that, you know what I mean?
You can't come off the bench and score 4 in 9 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, to show you the standard that he's got against week in, week out. Even Dortmund.
I'm going to end this on a hot take.
Oh.
The French league is better than the German league.
I agree. 100% by the way. I agree.
It's gone up with the level, hasn't it? It's more teams. Like, look, Lille, he's fighting for it.
Germany's got, like, Bayern Munich, who are just the best, and you've got Dortmund, who are a level below, and then you've got a few teams like Leipzig, who are okay, and then you've got, like, say, Dick Diamonds, who are fucking farmers, whereas French league has got, like, 7, 8, 9 very decent teams. Obviously, you've got PSG, who are up there, but then you've got the rest of them, like Marseille, Lyon,
Leo won it.
Yeah, Lille. Yeah, these are good teams. You know what I mean? So I think the French league's overtaken.
No one else will ever win the German league because whenever they get close, Bayern just buy all their players.
That's what I mean, like Dortmund
they
openly sell their
players
players to them. Like they're happy enough to sell them. It's
madness.
like corruption. I think there's corruption going in that league.
I mean, there's something going on. Like, why would you, as a business model, go, we come close to win the league last season, so what we're going to do to try and improve it is sell our best players to the team we won it. It's like, come on, fucking no. You just say, nah, if you want to go, you can go abroad. You're not fucking going to Bayern Munich.
To end the podcast, just a refresh. Lionel Messi is the best player in the world. We have a lot of biased Liverpool fans. Carl is a knobhead. And
I was going to say, at the end of every podcast, we should have like the top 3 talking points of the podcast, and it's got to be Carl being a knobhead, Sean being a knobhead, and Coogan being a knobhead.
Alright, well, in a nicer tone, I guess I started that one. The talking points are Carl. I'd say Carl having Cristiano Ronaldo 7th. Just
if you dislike him, fair enough, but that's not a valid excuse.
I don't think any of us like Ronaldo, like Liverpool fans.
I don't like the way he is now.
Yeah, I don't like what he's acting like now, but yeah. So he's got him at 7th, just mad. I'd say Sean, thinking he was born in the 1950s.
His whole list is just a talking point. That whole list.
He had R9 10th. Maradona 2nd. He's got Pele, Cruyff, and Di Stefano in there.
Having R9 10th, by the way, is just as bad as having Cristiano Ronaldo 7th. By the way, like I'll put that out there.
R9. I mean, I didn't have R9 3rd because I love Zidane so much. But
that top 4 should be the top 4. Like there should be no. Any order is fine, but that top 4 should be the top 4, and anyone else who's put anyone else in that top 4 is wrong. Like they're wrong.
Well, there's a couple of people who didn't put R9 in top 4. Gazan and Liam didn't. They went with Ronaldinho in their top 4 instead. But yeah, another talking point is Gerrard making the top 10 all time.
Yeah,
and someone having him 4th.
4th is like.
Just again, Gerrard for me was a talking point. Last one is a talking point again. I don't think it's right. It doesn't sit right with me, but it is what it is. And then the last talking point, again, it comes down to Carl. Talking points with Carl having Ronaldo 7th, Carl having Gerrard 4th, and Carl not having Iniesta in his team. Everyone had Iniesta in apart from.
So hang on, Ian. Do us a favour. Go through Carl's 1 to 10, please.
From 10th to 1st or 1st to 10th?
No, 1st to 10th.
Messi, R9, Zidane, Gerrard, Suarez, Henry, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Maldini, Pirlo.
Pirlo over Iniesta as well. Fuck me.
Another shout out that we haven't mentioned, Sergio Busquets.
Yeah.
Under the radar for what he does. That role.
He'll always be under the radar though, won't he? Because he does the job well. No one. He's like Rodri. Like I think Rodri's criminally underrated now for City because he does the job well. Sweeps up, doesn't he? Keeps it moving. But Busquets, yeah, definitely mention.
If you want to take us out of here, well, our next podcast after this, we're gonna have like a little game where everyone can join in. We'll explain it at the start of the podcast. Just make sure you've got a notepad, a pen, ready to join in as we go along. And then for this one, if you guys want to put your top 10 in the comments, that would be great. But I'll let Bullbed see the podcast out now.
Alright, as always, make sure that you to let the channel grow. The more you like it, the more it goes out to more people to see the podcast, and then you can join in with the comments below. And if you want to join it, you can come and join us. Links in the description of our Twitters, our social medias, so make sure you click on that. Past podcasts are also on there as well, so if you missed it, you can always feel free to go back and join in there. But as always, thank you very much for watching and getting involved, and thank you for everyone that put their listen. So until the next podcast, take care.